All right. Why don't we go ahead and get into it? Just to kick off, thank you guys for joining us. We wanted to use this session today to talk about member engagement and how you can leverage best practices and some tools in Breeze to help drive your member engagement because we see the data, we see the stats. We know that there are some declining rates around attendance and around new member rates. And if that's happening to you, you are not alone. If that's not happening to you, fantastic. But we want to try to give you the best tips and tricks that we've found using some of the software in Breeze, as well as from what our customers have told us. So just to kick it off, and Tyler, I'm sorry, I forgot to get you on this slide. He'll introduce himself too, but I'm Natalie Humble. I'm our Breeze Group Product Manager. And Nico, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hey there, I'm Nico Marblestone. I am a product manager here at Tithely for website, apps, and media. So probably a lot of the stuff you guys use a lot. So we'll be here to answer any questions you have and walk you through this funnel.
And then Tyler.
Yeah, and then I'm Tyler Byers, and I'm on our senior customer advocate team here at Tidely. And yeah, I've primarily worked with apps and sites for the majority of my time here.
Awesome. You'll have all the good answers then, Tyler. You and just a quick agenda. So we want to talk through how to bring new visitors to your church, how to engage your members throughout the week, encourage volunteering, and enable your worship team with some best practices. Before we get into it too much further, I do want to call out, we're going to be talking a lot about sites, church apps, and worship tools. If you are in Breeze, there is an offer running currently around bundling all of this functionality. A site is typically $19 a month, a church app is $89 a month, and worship tools is $29. All three of those are being offered for 1 month free and then $47 a month after that, which is fabulous. So if you don't see that offer in Breeze in your extensions page, you might see a yellow banner that's telling you that you need to connect your account. Go ahead and connect your account and you should see this offer. If you've come in through the Tidely side, meaning you're in Tidely All Access, or maybe you have Tidely Giving and now you've brought Breeze on, All Access is going to be that same package at that same price. So for those of you who have All Access and maybe you've used sites and apps before, Worship Tools is now available to you as well as a part of your package. So you can check that out in the extensions page too. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. We first want to start with bringing new visitors to your church. And we'll talk it through top tactics for each of these. But the first thing and probably the most impactful thing that you can do as a church is be a part of your community, be in your community. You want to maybe volunteer in some of the local charities that are already present. You know, we all just were impacted by these hurricanes, Helene and Milton coming through, being the folks that are organizing those relief funds, being kind of that hub of activity. You know, maybe you're the ones that are organizing the Thanksgiving turkey dinner, you know, at the parish center, something like that. And another great way, and as a mom, I have a 3 and a 5-year-old. I have both of my kids enrolled in preschool through different church communities. So providing early childhood services, that's a great way too to just get awareness about your congregation and start to get people in, you know, as they're building their families. Also, like I said, hosting those special events, fall festivals, you know, Christmas festivals, all those kinds of things. It's a very approachable way for folks to kind of interact with you and your members and your congregation and get a sense of the wonderful community that you have without maybe, you know, walking through the very first time and going to service. Because 99% of the time, you know, the first interaction that folks have with your congregation or the first moment of awareness is not when they're at church, right? There for service. It's a different touch point. It's seeing you in the community, and it's actually driving a lot of traffic to your website. So I want to pass it over to you, Nico, to kind of talk about how to structure your website to help convert those folks that are coming to actually walk through your front door.
Totally. Thank you for the pass off there. I want to emphasize first that these things are all basically like a journey. So website, app, new visitor events, those aren't disconnected things. They're actually tools to get people more and more involved in your church. So I want you to think of it kind of like a funnel as we go through this of, okay, there's a bunch of visitors or people are hearing about our cool events. They see our website, they check it first, as everyone always does. Then they get in the door, then they get an app, then they start volunteering. So that's how I want you guys to look at it, which brings us to the website. So this fact right here is pretty shocking to some people. 80% of users check your website before visiting. I was just telling Tyler, I moved to Nashville about 8, 9 months ago. Been here for a little bit. And I was church hopping, church searching for the first couple of weeks. And every single church I went to before I did, I would check their website. I would check their website. I would check their website. So this is kind of something you guys can know as a truth that's happening. It's really beneficial to put a lot of effort in your website because people are going to check it before they come and visit your church for the first time. Number one, welcome landing page and video. I've seen people get really creative with this. Our church in the past did a video that kind of showed users what their first day was going to be like. So like, this is where you're going to park. Then you'll walk over here and we'll say hi and give you a free coffee mug. And then you'll walk over here and sit here. And that kind of helped to like frame in people's minds, okay, this is what my first day will look like. It's not so scary. These people are really nice. The second thing is plan your visit. So this is actually a tool we have. Some of you might use it already, where it takes the user through this whole like interactive form where how many attendees are you bringing? What service time are you coming to? That just helps, again, like reinforce in their mind, okay, I'm signing up for this. I'm going. This is going to be fun. I'm excited for it. Aside from those things, just stuff you could put on your website to make people feel more comfortable, more like they know what they're getting into. Groups and events, staff pictures and bios. Staff pictures and bios are awesome. I always look at these when I'm looking at a church. Upload sermons and videos of services. This is great too, because you can, with Tyler, you can upload as many sermons as you want, as many videos as you want on your site for free, and we'll host those for you. So this gives people an opportunity to either, like, if they miss service, they can go back and watch, or if they're first time, they can come and look and see what it's all about. And then, of course, number 6, letting people know how they can get involved. This is a great one for folks who might be like super ready to join and super ready to get into events and serving and stuff like that. So here's a couple examples. This is plan a visit on the top left. So you can see we are one church with 5 locations across San Diego. They have contact, watch online, and join us for worship there. The bottom left is North Leadership, same church. So this just kind of makes it more friendly, more personable. You're like, oh, okay, there's actual people that are at this church that are going to welcome me, that work here, that are super nice and friendly. And then on the right, you can see watch live Sundays at 10:30. This is actually awesome. This lets people connect, get in there. They have the connect card on the top left. So it's like a virtual church service happening on the website. Now, engaging members throughout the week. I'm going to say 4 is probably most important here, but I'm going to go through 1 through 3 anyways. I'm just biased because I am the apps guy. Number 1, host small groups. So I'm part of a couple small groups. Small groups are awesome. They really are. Small groups, if you have a huge church, make it seem really small. And even if you have a smaller church, makes it seem even smaller. This is where lifelong church friends come from. This is where, you get to have that community to support you in different things. Aside from engaging members, this is just a really good way to get your church members involved with each other and praying for each other and looking out for each other. So small groups, definitely got to do that. Number 2, offer in-week services, classes, or Bible study. So my church does this as well. Every Wednesday, our pastor doesn't give a sermon, but he kind of just walks through some scriptures, lets us ask questions. Number 3 is daily devotionals. Everyone loves daily devotionals. I'm sure most of us probably get a daily devotional to our phone, or we have some sort of book that we have on, our bedside table that we read. Daily devotionals is a great way to keep people engaged while feeding them the word and giving them encouragement throughout the week. And then number 4, of course, provide a church app. So a church app is, I like to say, it is your church in someone's pocket. That's what it is. It is your church in someone's pocket. If the website is a window into your church, then this is your church in someone's pocket. We have so many features. We have everything that you do inside of your church, whether it's like doing a sermon or having an event or doing a prayer night, anything you can think of, we have turned it into a feature and put it inside of our church app. So good examples of this is number 1, upload sermons and sermon notes. You can upload sermons to the church app. You guys probably already know this, but as many sermons as you want. You can categorize them how you want, group them how you want. People can watch them right from their phone. And you can do live streams. So someone can be on the subway, maybe they're late for church, but they have the live stream up, they're watching it, they're commenting, and they're about to be there. Another one is sermon notes. Sermon notes seems rudimentary at first. It's like, okay, everyone gets sermon notes. Usually you print out the placard and you hand it to everyone, coming into the service. What's really cool about sermon notes in the app is that we have fill in the blanks. Yes, thank you. So if you can see at the bottom there, stay focused, sermon note. We actually have fill in the blanks so people can stay engaged during the sermon. They can press that blue check mark right there if they don't know what the answer is, and it'll pop up. And they can guess on and just stay engaged during the sermon. So sermon notes are awesome. I would highly recommend, if you're not utilizing sermon notes, throw those things in the app. The prayer wall is fantastic. The prayer wall lets people know what they should be praying for, lets people comment and say, I'm praying for you. And as a little preview here, we're about to be launching next month automatic push notifications for the prayer wall. So whenever someone posts on the prayer wall, a notification will go out to everyone who has the app. And you can also, you can categorize that and send it only to certain groups, however you guys want to do it. Number 3, connect your Breeze event calendar. So this is super awesome because anything you have in your Breeze event calendar will automatically sync with the app. You can also put registration links inside of those events. So I could click on Sunday Central Church and register right there in the app, and that'll all go back to Breeze.
And you
So
can categorize too which calendar you choose.
Yes.
I know some Breeze calendars we like to keep offline.
Keep private. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so that's super awesome too. That we're just trying to make everything so cohesive and connected here at Tithely. And number 4 is send push notifications. Push notifications are unlimited. They're free. They're dynamic. You can put pictures in them. You can put registration links or website links. Push notifications are a wonderful, wonderful way to engage your members. And also you can kind of, if you think about it, make a push notification a daily devotional. So once a day, you send out that push notification at 9 a.m. to everyone who's subscribed to your daily devotionals, and they'll see that.
Awesome. Thanks, Nico. So now we've got folks that are coming to our website, coming through our doors. We're engaging them through the week. But we do know that when people kind of give of their time and they give of themselves, they do feel a deeper sense of engagement and a deeper sense of connection, right? So we want to encourage as many members across our congregation to volunteer as possible. So a couple of top tactics around this. Small churches are probably really good at knowing kind of who can do what because it's kind of all hands on deck. But for you mid-sized, larger churches, something that we have seen folks do that works really well is use a Breeze form. And in the form, they use that as like their new member form. And they have a custom field that actually feeds into a custom field on the Breeze member profile. And it asks, what are your gifts? So, are you technically savvy? Are you musically inclined? Are you great with kids? Are you just super organized? Because all of those things are, gifts that they can share with the congregation. And it's also a gift to them to be able to help and contribute. Um, Also, if you can provide lower commitment opportunities to volunteers, especially when people are just like kind of starting to get, dip their toe in, they might be overwhelmed by just the whole experience of, joining a new congregation. So simple things like, hey, can you bring the donuts on Sunday? Or the coffee, or can you just pour the coffee and serve it, after service? Like there can be very simple things, but allowing folks to do, maybe even lower touch stuff kind of helps get their foot in the door and makes them a little bit more confident about joining a more regular sense of serving. And then allow your volunteers to sign up for multiple dates and kind of multiple roles at a time. In Breeze Volunteer Management, it's pretty cool. You can send out a sign up sheet that effectively sends, a month, 2 months of dates and allows folks to RSVP to those dates. They can RSVP to certain roles, but you're giving them the flexibility to say, I'm available here. I'd like to do this. I'm not available there. And that goes into blackout dates. Your members, your volunteers can put in blackout dates that they're not available to serve. Maybe they're on, vacation. And then that just makes your planning process a little bit easier. And then my last one is just kind of a pro tip. If you're in Breeze Volunteer Management, use the grid view. It's super awesome. It's a great way to see kind of holistically what your volunteer plan looks like for multiple weeks at a time. Instead of just like working within one instance, you can see really multiple weeks and you can see how you're kind of trending for those weeks. So those are just some top tactics around encouraging as many folks to volunteer and to do it as seamlessly as possible. Okay, along the lines of volunteer management, we've had volunteer management in Breeze for many, many years. But in the last year, we have brought a lot of functionality in around service planning and worship planning. So the first thing that we would say is top tactic, plan your services in advance. As many services as you can plan. I'd say probably, I talked to some churches that'll do, a quarter in advance. And maybe they'll get really far ahead on, something special around the holiday season for like a Christmas service that they want to get done in advance. Getting those done in advance, if you're the person that's laying out the order of the service, and maybe there's a worship team that's also going to have to coordinate with that, that gives the worship pastor or the worship director time to think about, okay, what music would, land best with this theme and with these readings or with these speakers. And it also gives your band members time to learn that music, or your worship team time to learn that music. In Breeze, you can create that order of service, like I said, from the events module, and you can share that order of service, that plan, with anyone who needs to see it. You can send it via email, you can send a link. And then on the worship tool side of things, which is a new package and an add-on package, you can store and manage all of that music that you're adding to these set lists in a consolidated song library. So in that library, you can add music manually, or you can pull it in directly from SongSelect CCLI. So if you're already leveraging a SongSelect subscription, you're pulling in chord charts and music sheets, and all of that can come into the Breeze library and be stored there and managed there. And then finally, you want to be able to allow your teams to practice prior to service, and so planning as far in advance as possible is helpful, but also leveraging the worship app, which is a part of Worship Tools, is a really great way to enable them to practice and feel comfortable for their Sunday service. So the worship app is actually optimized for tablets. You can use it on your mobile device, but it's optimized for tablets, and they can see that set list that's coming up. If you've pulled in chord charts that are associated to the songs, they can look at the chord charts. They can play audio files on top of them. There's a metronome. They can swipe through them. It's pretty slick. And it really allows folks to, get in there and get prepared ahead of time. I do see some questions coming through, and we are going to do Q&A here in a little bit if I'm missing anything, but definitely know that we will get to those. Okay, here's just a couple of different images, and sorry, I probably should have switched to these while I was chatting about them so you have a visual. This is kind of what your service plan will look like in PDF form. And it's Song Select. You can integrate with that relationship through the extensions page by going in and managing that relationship there. And this is kind of what it looks like when you've pulled in a song from Song Select. Any themes that are associated will be pulled in. Any music sheets will get pulled in. You can also add URLs. For example, I know some people like to maybe put a YouTube video on there to say, oh, we want to, kind of emulate the way that, this artist did it. That's something that's great too, and that is shared with your team as well. And then this is just a little snippet of kind of what the worship app looks like out there. Okay, well, we got through that pretty quickly, you guys. So we have some good time here for Q&A. I saw one question in the chat, and it was, is this being recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. But if you do have additional questions on how some of this stuff will work, please go ahead and post it in that Q&A section on the webinar. And I'm trying to flip over to there. Nico, do we have any yet?
Yes.
You're able to see? Okay.
I think we have a perfect question for Tyler. This is from Sandy Birdsall, or Birdsall. I think it's Birdsall. I have a rudimentary question. We just developed an app, and I would like directions on how to embed the link into our newsletter, and I haven't been successful.
Yeah, so once we do set up and develop your app, we do provide you with a download link that'll just allow people to easily access your app through that link. And that can be shared, via social media or email, or in your newsletter. As far as embedding it, you should just be able to paste that link in the newsletter, and it will be accessible to anyone who receives it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and please just reach out to support email if you do have some additional questions about that.
Thank you, Tyler.
Well said. Any other questions? I see we have 22 people in here. I know you guys have some questions. You're gonna.
Laura just posted one into the webinar chat. Can someone manage the prayer wall only?
I don't know, Tyler. How granular are our permissions in the dashboard?
So right now the app dashboard permissions are set so that if you have access to the app dashboard, you do have access to all of the different sections. But you can set up an email address so that when someone, sends in a prayer request, you'll receive an email, and from that email you can approve or deny the request. So if you want to have someone that doesn't necessarily have app dashboard access but still receives those emails, you can set it up that way.
Nice.
That's a great way to do it, Tyler. Good question, Laura. I don't know about you, Nico. I feel like I always learn things from
Oh yeah.
from from customers, and two from CX, because you guys know all the tips.
It's so true.
Any other questions, folks? Okay. Oh, Laura said with the website. Oh, here we go. We got more coming.
Let's see. Okay, Rosemary, quick answer. The entire presentation will be available via email and recorded, so you can check it out after this.
Laura said with the website, can you add a promo?
I'm not quite sure what type of promo is being referred to there.
Yeah, Laura, will you clarify what you mean by that? Can you add a promo with the website? For now, we can go on to Deborah Jackson. We started out with Tidely All Access, so we have a Tidely Sites website and app. We moved to Breeze, how do we get our site and app linked to Breeze without upgrading?
Yeah. So there will be a kind of an easier transition between All Access and the bundle here shortly. But if you do, Deborah, if you contact support, one of the things that they can help you do is connect your Breeze events calendar into your church app. So your calendar event feed can start pulling through and you can start using RSVPs through the form. You can, it's pretty simple. It's a little bit manual, but we can get you set up so that it's working similar to if you had come through Breeze originally. Okay.
Okay, Laura said like a welcome video. I think, Laura, correct me if I'm wrong, but you might be asking, can you add a welcome video to the website? And if that is the question, then 100% yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you can, yeah, you can totally add a welcome video to the website. This is what my church has done. And further than just like a hello welcome, we did a creative video where we walked folks through their first day, kind of like, this is where you'll park, and you'll walk over here and we'll welcome you into the church, and then you'll get a coffee mug and you'll sit over here. So that is super easy to do. And it's super awesome for people who are just joining. So how do I do that? So what you'll do is you'll make the video and you'll either put it on YouTube or you'll put it on Vimeo. It's free to upload on there. And then once you do that, you can go into sites and you can just click add a video. You can put it wherever you want on the website, and you'll put that link, that YouTube or that Vimeo link in there, and the video will just pop up and it'll be ready to go.
We have something, a question in Q&A, but I can't see it for some reason.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Sandy followed up and said, what if the app was developed outside of Breeze?
Oh, so as far as the iCal feed, it depends on what the app is, and Tyler, you may know better. You may still be able to bring the iCal feed of your events in. The RSVP linking will not work, obviously, if it's an outside app. But it depends on who your provider is, if they allow you to set up an events calendar via an iCal feed. Other
Cool.
questions?
Any more questions? Any more questions?
When will the event take placement to Tidely? So I think what you're saying is, when will the event take payment to Tidely? If you're using a form, like a Breeze form, is that what you're talking about? Yes. Tyler, can you explain kind of how the Breeze forms will work?
Yeah, so the Breeze forms actually use your Breeze giving information. So the bank account that you select for that, and when you create a Breeze form, you will have the option of including different payment options. So that can be different amounts. I know a lot of people do use this for event registration, and they'll just have, multiple different amount options depending on if they're just registering one or multiple people. And so that is really customizable, and you can add as many payment options as needed.
They use Tidely forms. Does Tidely have the ability to share forms? To do like a share form? I don't know if you could put the Tidely form into that might be a little bit trickier, but it's not as nice as Breeze. Huh. I don't know. I might be stumped on that one. I'm not sure if there is like the same capability to share it into the RSVP link. You might have to just use a Breeze form for that, I think, for the time being. And by the time being, I mean probably the next 4 months. We've been using Tidely messaging. Do we need a third-party app for texting and email through Breeze? So there's a couple different things in here. Breeze has built-in messaging, meaning that we have SMS and we have email built into Breeze. So you don't need a third party for that. And then from as far as the app is concerned, push notifications are free and they're unrelated to email or SMS, and those would come directly with the app as well. Good questions. All right. Any others, guys? Okay, I'm going to keep talking for a minute, and then if you have questions, we'll come back to them. If you do find that you need a little bit more insight, or you start trying to dive into something and you get stuck, please do reach out to us at support@breezechms.com. Either Tyler or someone on his fabulous team will be able to help you and walk you through things. We have, like I said, our CX is better than the people that built it half the time, so they're incredible. And if you aren't already, I would highly suggest and recommend joining the Breeze Facebook group. There are so many great tips and tricks out there, so definitely check that out if you have not already. Okay, Deborah, we see another question from you. Is the app for Breeze setup different from the Tidely app? Do we need to change over? No. Effectively, what we've done is Tidely has always had apps, right? And we've brought that into Breeze. And so it's the same app. It's going to be the same setup. You do not have to change over. Okay. I do want to just come back to kind of the beginning here. If you don't already have all access, you don't already have an app, a site, worship tools, definitely look in your extensions page to make sure you're seeing this ad. If you are not, and you're only seeing the option to purchase these a la carte, definitely reach out because there should be a bundled offer in some capacity out there for you right now that you can leverage. All right, guys. Anything else? Well, very good. Thank you all for joining us. This has been fantastic, wonderful questions. And we will send this recording out. So if you came late, if you weren't on with us, you'll be watching this hopefully. And again, reach out to us if you have any further questions or any further needs. We're here to help, and excited to see how you engage your how you engage your members going forward. So thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.